Welcome back to Morning Marketing on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Yasmin, and today we are in Fort Worth, Texas, with Patience Bennett from Truckers Report joining me. Welcome to the program, Patience.
Thank you for having me today, Yasmin.
We're so excited. So with that, I want to go ahead and get started. Tell us about Truckers Report and all the awesome work you guys do.
Yeah, so we started off as a forum a long time ago. The current CEO took over in about 2008, kind of let the forum do its thing for a while. And then we started our job board. And I came in about 3 years ago to really focus on in-housing everything to advertise to truck drivers so we could provide those leads to recruiters in the industry. Since then, we've grown our business dramatically, and we've launched a GPS app specifically, again, for truckers. And we've also actually, we're in the middle of launching and debuting our newest product called Bluegrass ATS, which is an applicant tracking system or similar to like a CRM. Speaking to marketers for specifically recruiters in the trucking space. And so my job is to, again, in-house marketing all of those different things. So I've become, specializing in the job market to having to learn how to advertise apps. And now we're becoming B2B marketers. And so this job never keeps me bored. And it's been really wonderful because we're serving a really important market, getting those truck seats filled. As you know, we need those truckers, especially in the last few years. And that is the services that we are providing to our customer base.
That's really incredible to hear. This is such a niche market, and it's so exciting to hear that it's growing. Your business is growing because of it. I've never really spoken to an agency that specifically works with truckers, so I'm very excited to learn more and kind of more about what are your primary drivers of success for such a niche market. So I'd love if you could talk a little bit more into that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely not the customer-facing side of things, but filling those trucker seats has always been a challenge, and again, has been more so of a challenge with the pandemic and everything. People don't want to venture out that much, and especially trucking has always been really difficult because you have to stay away from your family and sit in traffic, and it's a hard job. So my job is to encourage people to be truck drivers for these trucking companies through advertising. So yeah, it's super niche, which makes my job actually really easy and difficult at the same time. Because when you know your audience, you can do just about anything. But it's also, again, really, really niche. So finding those sources of traffic that are, secret gold mines has been both the most challenging and fun part of working with Truckers Report. And, we've tested every market. Turns out TikTok influencers has been a huge hit for us. Who would have thought? But yeah, it has its pros and cons working in such a niche market.
Definitely. And I love that you mentioned that because, sometimes people think niche and it's like, oh, so much more specific, that's better. And, it obviously is because you know more about your target audience. But at the same time, that means you have a smaller pool to go after. And that could also be a lot more challenging. So it's great to see that you're constantly tackling that and evolving with that. And so we know marketing is growing every single day. And like you mentioned, TikTok, which is a platform that just came about a few years ago, is really starting to show success for your industry. Yeah. So I'm curious, with marketing trends changing all the time, where do you see marketing going in the next few years?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? There's been a lot of changes, and again, we've already felt a lot of the privacy changes working so heavily in the app space. So I definitely see a lot more focus headed towards like creativity, because again, there's going to be a lot more competition. You're going to be a lot less able to tackle the people you've wanted to. I know first party data is going to be super, super important, but speaking to a potentially broader or less specific in-market audience is going to rely entirely on the right messaging. So again, you might not be hitting your ideal audience all the time in the future, is what I anticipate. So it's really going to be so important that your content and the information you're putting out there is super enticing to the right people.
Absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that content types, and content is king, as we know, and the kind of content people see is really, really important. And so for your niche industry, you've mentioned videos. Would you say that is the driving content for your industry, or is there something you have found to be more successful?
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's actually a really big toss up. Video with TikTok has been really beneficial, but videos elsewhere, maybe not so much. Because again, these truckers are on the road, so their internet is not reliable. Especially as marketers, we get really spoiled living in big city hubs. But a big part of the country does not have fast internet. It's actually really slow, especially when you're on the road. So we have a lot of success still with just like static imagery on most social channels. We're really fortunate because we started as a forum specifically for professional truckers. So we also have built like a community around that. So just having that in-house luxury of having a forum. But we still find a lot of success. I think more so actually than video, and just like static images across all platforms, really.
Right. It's so interesting that you say that, because we've learned that video is king, but we don't really take into account location sometimes and Wi-Fi access. So it's interesting to see that in reality, because of your niche and the work that your target audience does, it's really more static images. So I'm curious, for potential customers who want to hire truck drivers, or maybe truckers who are listening here today, what can they know about working with Truckers Report?
Yeah, the biggest thing that we've always prioritized is quality over volume. A lot of the competition is really focused on volume, volume, volume. And it's true. The more leads you get, the more hires you get. But we strongly believe that, if you have 50 good quality leads versus 100 toss-up leads, you're still going to probably make more hires off that 50 leads. So we've always prioritized quality. And we look at the data very, very closely, so that if a source of traffic is not working for us, it is quickly cut, because again, we'd rather our recruiters have to spend less time on the phone and get those much needed hires. So that is a little bit more unique than some of the industry competitors.
I love that. I love quality over quantity, because in marketing, that's really the case. We could have 100 different random posts of non-quality and it could do nothing, but one solid video or picture with quality could make all the difference. So I love that is your agency's focus. Patience, thank you so much for your time and sharing all this insightful information about such a niche topic. We really enjoyed this.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it too.
To find out more about Patience and all of her amazing work with Truckers Report, visit us at dailyadbrief.com, and we'll see you next time on More to Marketing.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.